The day had been long and tiresome, and as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a deep, crimson hue over the landscape, Peter found himself standing at the entrance of a city unlike any he had ever seen. It was a strange city, and its very aura seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. He had heard whispers of this place in hushed tones, stories of its mysterious allure, but nothing could have prepared him for the reality that stood before him. The city's massive, ancient walls stretched high into the sky, their surface adorned with intricate carvings and symbols, all of which seemed to shimmer with an eerie, unnatural light. The gates of the city stood open, inviting Peter to enter. And yet he hesitated, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and fascination. It was said that those who entered this city could never leave, and that it held secrets beyond imagination. But he couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. Peter had traveled to many places in his lifetime, but this city was like no other. The very air felt heavy with anticipation, and a strange, ethereal music seemed to drift from the depths of the city, luring him in. With each step he took, the world around him shifted and twisted, as if the city itself was in a constant state of flux. The streets were narrow and winding, lined with buildings that defied the laws of physics. Some structures appeared to be suspended in mid-air, while others seemed to grow directly out of the ground, their walls covered in shimmering vines and strange, glowing moss. The city's inhabitants were equally perplexing. People of all shapes and sizes roamed the streets, their features distorted and surreal. Some had elongated limbs, others multiple heads, and still, others appeared to be made entirely of light. Yet, despite their bizarre appearances, they moved about with a sense of purpose, as if they were part of a grand, cosmic design. As Peter delved deeper into the city, he came across a marketplace unlike any other. Stalls were piled high with exotic fruits, unidentifiable creatures in cages, and artifacts from distant realms. The vendors themselves were equally as bizarre as their wares, with eyes that seemed to see into other dimensions, and voices that resonated with a melody that was both soothing and disconcerting. The language spoken here was unlike any Peter had ever heard, a strange amalgamation of clicks, hums, and whistles. Despite not understanding a word, he found himself drawn into conversations with the inhabitants, their gestures and expressions transcending language barriers. Days turned into weeks, and Peter became entangled in the strange city's rhythms. He found himself living in a peculiar, twisting apartment building that seemed to change its layout every time he entered. The neighbors were a motley crew of beings from across the multiverse, each with their own story and reason for being in this place. One evening, as Peter wandered the city's labyrinthine streets, he came across a street performer. The performer, known simply as Lyra, was a being of shifting colors and constantly changing forms. She danced on a stage made of liquid light, and her movements were a mesmerizing blend of grace and chaos. Peter stood in the crowd, transfixed by her performance, feeling as if he were on the cusp of understanding a great cosmic truth. After the show, Peter approached Lyra, and to his surprise, she spoke to him in a language he could understand. "Welcome, traveler," she said, her voice a melodic whisper. "You are not like the others who pass through here. What brings you to our city?" Peter explained how he had stumbled upon the city by accident and how he had been unable to leave ever since. Lyra nodded in understanding. "This city is a place of paradoxes and mysteries," she said. "But it is also a place of wonder and enlightenment. The longer you stay, the more you will come to understand its true nature." As the days turned into months, Peter delved deeper into the city's secrets. He learned of the city's enigmatic history, a place that had existed outside of time and space for eons, a refuge for beings from countless realms and dimensions. He discovered that the city was a nexus of knowledge, a place where the boundaries of reality were pushed to their limits. The city's library, an otherworldly structure that seemed to exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions, became Peter's sanctuary. There, he pored over ancient tomes and manuscripts, each written in a language unknown to the outside world. He deciphered the texts, gaining insight into the city's true purpose. The city was a place where the laws of reality were malleable, where dreams and nightmares intertwined. It was a place where beings from different dimensions could come to learn, to grow, and to explore the furthest reaches of existence. It was a place where the very fabric of reality was woven and unwoven by the inhabitants' collective will. Peter's studies led him to a group of scholars who were dedicated to understanding the city's mysteries. They called themselves the Weavers of Reality. They believed that the city held the key to understanding the nature of existence itself. And they sought to unravel its deepest secrets. Under the guidance of the weavers, Peter learned to harness the city's unique energies. He discovered that he could shape the city with his thoughts, bending reality to his will. He could conjure objects from thin air, traverse dimensions, and communicate with beings from other realms. The city's strange inhabitants became his mentors and friends, helping him navigate the ever-shifting landscape. As Peter's understanding of the city deepened, he began to experience visions and dreams of cosmic proportions. He saw glimpses of other worlds, realms of unimaginable beauty and terror. He saw the birth and death of stars, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the dance of galaxies across the cosmos. With his newfound knowledge and power, Peter faced a choice. He could continue to explore the city's mysteries and delve deeper into the realms of the unknown, or he could try to find a way to leave and return to the world he had known. The city's allure was undeniable, but it also held a sense of isolation and detachment from the reality he had left behind. One day, as he stood at the city's edge, gazing out into the infinite expanse beyond, he felt a deep longing for his old life. He remembered the people he had left behind, the world he had known, and the simple pleasures of everyday existence. He wondered if he could ever find a way back. Lyra, the enigmatic performer, approached him, sensing his inner conflict. "Peter," she said, "the city is a place of endless wonder, but it is also a place of endless choice. You can stay here and explore the farthest reaches of existence, but you can also find a way to return to your world, to the people and experiences you left behind." Peter was torn. The city had become a part of him, and he had learned and grown in ways he could never have imagined. But the pull of his old life was strong, and the yearning to see his loved ones again was undeniable. With the help of the Weavers of Reality, Peter embarked on a quest to unlock the secrets of the city's gates. He delved into the city's deepest mysteries, seeking the knowledge that would allow him to leave. It was a journey fraught with challenges and dangers, as the city's very nature resisted his efforts to break free, but Peter's determination and the support of his newfound friends proved to be his greatest assets. After what felt like an eternity of searching, he discovered a hidden chamber within the city, a place of pure cosmic energy that held the key to opening the gates. With a heavy heart, Peter activated the mechanism, and the city's gates slowly began to close. As they did, the city itself seemed to weep, its very essence mourning the loss of one of its own. Peter stepped through the closing gates, leaving the strange city behind. He found himself standing on the outskirts of a familiar town, his world unchanged. It was as if no time had passed at all. He had returned to the life he had known, but he was forever changed by his experiences in the strange city. He reconnected with his loved ones, sharing stories of his adventures and the knowledge he had gained. They listened with wonder and disbelief, unable to fully grasp the depths of his experiences, but despite his return, a part of Peter longed for the mysteries and wonders of the city. He knew that he could never truly leave it behind, for it had become a part of his very being. Years passed, and Peter lived a fulfilling life, but the memory of the strange city never faded. In quiet moments, he would gaze up at the night sky, wondering if the city still existed, if its gates were open to other curious travelers, and if Lyra and the weavers of reality continued their quest for knowledge. And so, the story of the strange city lived on. A place of paradoxes and mysteries, a place where the boundaries of reality were pushed to their limits, and a place where those who entered could never truly leave.